Hi, my name is Terri Sproul, and I want to welcome you to my studio. Tonight is our live Tuesday night show, and I appreciate you all being here. I'm going to get right down to work. We're going to play with a bunch of different stuff tonight, and I got some good specials for you. So let me switch cameras. I do have Joe here helping me also tonight. Okay, that's my blog. I'm going to shut that down. Joe, you might want to turn I'm getting echo from you. Better. Okay. Okay, I'm working in the same art journal we've been working in, the one that I actually made a couple weeks ago, with you actually a couple months ago. Time just flies, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to play with the Radiant Rains Concentrate Daubers tonight from Color Art, and they actually just went on sale over at the Color Art channel. They are going for $3 and I think 72 cents if I remember correctly. So that's a great deal if you guys want to get some of these. This is the time to go get them. So this one actually is an old jar of theirs, but I wanted this yellow. So, actually I want to start off with squirting some water on my page. I did not just on my page. I wanted to work directly with the watercolor, and this will help the paint move. So I'm starting off with this concentrated yellow. I believe this is called Sunburst. I'm putting a lot of color up on top here, and then I'm going to squirt it and make it run. That's my plan there. There it goes. Run, run, run. That looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to go in with this next color, which is kind of an orangey, and it's called Yellow Rose. I'm going to put that along the bottom, and I'm going to go the opposite way with my runs. These are a lot of fun. They're really concentrated color. They have a lot in the sprays, but not so much in the daubers. But these daubers make the best splats, and I'll show you that later on. So if you like splats, they make really great splats. So again, I'm going to squirt it with water and get it bleeding the other way. So I'm going to go towards me this time. Getting a little bleeding here over the purple, which isn't all good because purple and yellow, as you know, are complementary colors, so they will make brown. So I'm just going to dab that off just a little bit here to kind of control that a little bit. And that's the purple from the page that's on this side that I just got a little bleed over. But I'll make it work. It doesn't bother me much. Now I'm going to grab the third color here. Actually, no, I want to go in with a little more yellow. I want to get a little more color on here. So I'm just going to keep adding so I get where I want. And then I'm going to add a contrasting pink to it next, which actually is Plumeria. And where's my spray bottle? There it is. Helps if I actually spray the page and not myself. We've gotten rain all day today. I'm so excited. We haven't had rain in forever. It's rained all night and all day today. So I just closed the book a little bit just to get those colors blending together. While it's still wet, I'm going to come in with this really pretty Plumeria, which kind of is a really kind of pinkish color. And I'm going to get that bleeding down the page. Oh, love, love, love that. How pretty that is. I'm going to go in and tap off a little bit just in that center there. Love how that blended and how that looks. Very pretty. Love the way that looks. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to let that dry. Oh, dropped one of my bottles, so I'm going to grab my dryer, just dry it just a little bit, and then I'm going to go to something else. Okay, I'm going to let that finish drying by itself off to the side here. And I'm going to grab a watercolor piece of paper and kind of do the same thing, but this time I'm going to actually use it for my butterflies that I plan on making. So again, I'm getting it nice and wet. I really need my big water bottle back. And I'm going to use 3 other colors, sorry, never shake online, of the same thing, of the Radiant Rains. But I'm going to use 3 shades of kind of purplish, pinks, reddish colors. And let these blend and do their thing. So again, I want this to spread around and do its stuff. I had a really wonderful time in North Carolina. What a beautiful state for you guys who live over that area. Beautiful state. Very, very green. It rained the whole time I was there, and they kept joking that I brought the rain with me. I told them I was taking it home, and I got lucky, and I did bring it home. So, really fun trip. Beautiful, beautiful, amazingly beautiful state. My first time in North Carolina, so, okay, I think it was this one I haven't used yet. Yeah, this is really dark. So this one's really dark, so I'm not going to use as much of this because it really will overwhelm. So if you have a really dark color, just, you know, be a little more sparing with it, and you probably will like what you come out with. Because remember, you can always add, but you can't necessarily take away. And this is a very intense color, as you'll see. Look how pretty this is going to be. So this is what I'm going to use to make a bunch of butterflies with. So I'm just trying to get it all spread out over the sheet so I can use it for my butterflies. Okay, happy with that. Clean off all the excess. And you could just pat this dry somewhat, but you will lose some of the intensity. And since I don't really want to lose any of the intensity, I'm going to use a little bit of the dryer and then let it dry naturally. Okay, we'll let that finish drying on its own. I'm just going to clean off my desk here because I don't want all this ink. Put that to the side, bring our book back up. Okay, so book's back up. This is what we started with. Make sure I'm going the right way. I am. Okay, I do need to dry this a little more, so I apologize. You get a little drier. Okay, I like that. Now I'm going to grab this swirl stamp from Sin City Stamps and Stays on Ink. And this is kind of, it's called St. Valentine. It's kind of a reddish, orangish color. So it'll go really good in my background. And I'm just going to randomly put this, you know, just kind of everywhere and anywhere. No rhyme or reason. Just to give some depth and some interest in the background. I want to stamp it multiple times so that I, you know, use up the ink, get some lighter ones and some darker ones. We've talked about that in the past. That gives you really nice interest if you stamp multiple times and get the lights and the darks in there.
And Terry, what stamp is that? I don't have a link for that one.
It's a swirl stamp. I don't remember which one it's on. I apologize. I will definitely have it on my Facebook, or excuse me, my blog tomorrow. I just grabbed this at the last minute, Joe. Sorry.
I know you're just trying to mess my game. I know.
I know. Make you look bad. No, I would never do that. Okay. Okay, just wanted to get a little bit of interest going back there. Happy with that. Now I gave you this one. This is a zigzag stamp, excuse me, a zipper stamp from Sin City Stamps also. And again, I'm just going to kind of use it as some interest in the background. It's only 1/2 of this zipper. So I just want to get a little bit of interest in the background. Nothing, again, no rhyme reason, just some interest. Not even going to ink it the whole thing up, just parts of it. Okay, happy with that. Now I'm going to grab this really cool stencil from the Crafter's Workshop. Drew a blank there. And I'm going to use Color Arts Radiant gels. These are the really thick gels. And I'm going to use this really cool butterfly right there. See that? Isn't that cool? Just again to give some interest in the background. This is really thick. See how thick it is? I mean, it doesn't come out. You know, there's no coming out of it. It's very, very thick. See that? I probably grabbed way too much, but. And I just want to do maybe like right here.
And Terry, what was that again? The thick stuff?
It's the Radiant Gels from Color Art. Pretty positive I gave you that link. I don't know if I gave you this particular color, but
yeah, I got the sprays and the daubers.
But I didn't give you that. God, I really suck today.
Let me try to find it.
Should be right there in the store on the front page. Go to the store first.
Oh, now you're full of ideas. Now.
I can tell you exactly how to get to it. So there you go. So I got those two on there. Now make sure you clean this off, or you will have problems. You know, it's like molding paste, so you do want to have it really cleaned off. And since I didn't have a bottle, I usually have something on the ground, so I'm going to take baby wipes and do it, just to get it so it doesn't ruin this really cool stencil. I'd hate to lose this stencil because I screwed up. Okay, much better. Okay, so now we got some good interest going in the background, and you can really see how that is dimensional. That gel is dimensional. So let me dry those. And just like gel medium, you can grab the excess if you know, got some where you weren't supposed to have it or didn't want it. Okay, so I'm going to set this to the side. We're going to come back to our sheet of paper that we made. It's still quite wet, so I'm going to dab a little bit of it off and dry the rest of it. Okay. Now what I want to do on this sheet is stamp a bunch of butterflies and fairies that are from Sin City Stamps. Now, my 2 fairy stamps I don't have mounted on cushion. If you don't mount your stamps on cushion, you want to have cushion underneath your piece of paper. You can buy cushion that they have actually designed for stamps, or honestly, you can use a magazine, guys. It's a lot cheaper to use a magazine. So I would just do that. I'm going to use embossing ink. Now she is a silhouette stamp, so she does need to have a little bit of pressure put on her because she doesn't, you know, those solid black areas, to get them good, you really want to have a lot of pressure. And then I'm going to grab my, what do they call these things? Catch-alls for your embossing powder and black embossing powder. You can use whatever you want. This one is from Stuart Superior, but really black embossing powder is black embossing powder. Now my sheet was still a little wet, so it's catching right there. So I'm going to see if I can find something to pull this off. Actually, a paintbrush would be the perfect thing. Now if I didn't have, my sheet wasn't wet, it wouldn't have done that. My paper's just a little too wet. So that's always a good hint, not to have your paper so wet. Okay. But since I'm live, I try to do things a little quicker than I normally would. It'll be good and dry after this.
And you know that Milwaukee heat gun's going to melt that quick. I posted a link for it.
Yes, this is the best heat gun I've ever owned. And I've had it for years. Seriously, guys, I've probably had this heat gun for probably 10 years plus. Seriously. I mean, a really long time. It's a great heat gun. So if you don't have one, go get it off of Joe's site there. That's a great price, too. Okay. And I'm going to grab a couple more. So basically, I would cover this whole thing with stamps using the embossing powder and the embossing ink. Now, I knew that you guys didn't want to watch that because there's nothing worse than watching somebody stamp a bunch of things, the same thing, and watching them cut it out. So I actually did do it for you already, but I wanted to show you how I did this. So again, just embossing paste. So you get these really pretty butterflies when you're done with all this, you know, on this beautiful background. Now I did need to do, hold on, this fairy, I do need to do one more fairy because I didn't get both of them stamped earlier. So that one's embossed. And then I want to do this one more fairy, and then I won't do any more. I promise. Now also another trick, if you don't have cling on the back of yours, I just use double-sided tape on the back of my stamps. And that works just fine. Of course, it always comes off, and now this one particular time, since I'm live, it doesn't want to come off. Doesn't it always figure? If I wasn't live, it'd be fine. There we go. Okay, again, embossing ink. It's raining again. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's raining really hard. I'm so excited. Yes, as Californians, we get excited about the rain. I'm hoping they're getting it up in the Northern California where all those poor people are losing their houses from fires. Oh, it's so depressing. That's why I'm glad we're getting rain, because it's going to help with our fire season that's coming up here in the next month or so. October is our big fire season. Okay. Yeah, these trays are really wonderful because you can just pour all your powder right back in real quick like that. So if you don't have one of these, Joe, do you have one of these on your site?
I don't. We've ordered them and they have not come in.
Oh, well, we'll definitely let you know when they do come in if you don't have them. Yeah, I've had my Milwaukee heat gun. I was trying to think about it. Seriously, probably close to 10 years. That's a good heat gun. Okay, so back to our sheet. Now, like I said, I cut out a bunch of butterflies prior to you guys getting here because I didn't want you to watch me do that. But I am going to real quickly cut out these two fairies because I didn't do that earlier. And when fussy cutting, I always say you move your paper and not the scissors. That really does make a big difference. Also, you want to make sure your paper is dry when you cut. It really will make a difference also. It's a lot easier to cut dry paper than it is wet. So, and what do I mean by move your, show your speakers on again. Move your paper and not your scissors. Yes, you're going to move your scissors some, but you're going to come in with your paper more. You know, move the paper around. Like when I get up to this foot here, see how I'm going to move it out, and I'm going to move the paper all the way around. See that? I'm not moving.
And you never close those scissors all the way.
That's right. You always keep it open and just keep it going, and you will get a nice cut. If you absolutely hate fussy cutting, get yourself the Zing machine, cutting machine. It will do all this for you. Yeah, why don't I do it? I don't know. Lazy. I don't mind fussy cutting a little bit. If I had to do a lot, I definitely would not. I have to admit that. I would definitely get my Zing machine out and make it do all the work for me. So yeah, just keep your paper moving. Never close your scissors completely and just fussy cut it away. See how I went around those hands? And you can get it really good if you really are spend a little more time. Okay, so I got my fairies out here and my butterflies. So I need to figure out how I want to put these across my page. So let's work with that. Oh, maybe I should put her on some words. Let me push her to the side for a second. She'd be kind of cute on the words. Is this all I had? Is this all I had? I'll cut this one out real quick because I want more. I want more butterflies. I thought I cut more out. And butterflies, another hint, cut the antennas off because you can add those back in with a pen later. So don't try to fussy cut around antennas. I don't. I cut them right off and I go back and draw them in because you're going to glue them down to your page anyways. So think about it. Why try to stress on getting those little antennas cut out? So
I guess that's true. Don't sweat the small stuff. Arr.
That's right. So there we go. There's our pretty little butterflies. Okay, I know I'm going to use this quote, so let me grab this quote. And this is another thing I want to show you. You can use a stamp. This stamp actually comes like this with the tree. See how it's got the trees on there? And I don't want the trees. So what I'm going to do is take a Post-it, put the Post-it over the tree part of the stamp. See that? So now I just have the words. So that's all covered. So now when I ink this up and stamp it, I didn't grab a piece of paper, so let me grab that. I need room. I need room. I can stamp that, just the part. And you can also go in and, like, you know, carefully ink it. But the Post-it really does make it really easy to miss, you know, what you don't want to hit. So there's a good hint. You don't need to use your whole stamp. And I can take that Post-it off now because there's no ink up there, and just go down and stamp it. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to cut that out because I'm going to put her on one of those words. One of that fairy. I want her to sit on top of these words right here. Okay. Now I can't have this white, of course, so I'm going to have to do something with that. So I think I'm going to go in with this pink that I used in the beginning. Let me grab and just get this colored up a little so it stands out. Perfect. See what's nice about this? These are really great for chipboard also, to paint chipboard real quickly, those daubers. Okay. So I want to put my words in. People put them right there, and then I'm going to have this little fairy laying on top like that. Now I'm going to put my butterflies around. I always do that. I always make all my butterflies flying the same way. I got to quit doing that. It's unnatural. Okay, that looks a little better. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I need gel medium. Now, really good hint. Let me grab my gel medium. When you have something that's water-based in the background, which I do, you want to have a dry paintbrush. This paintbrush is not wet at all. And then you will not have it pull the color up when you put the gel medium on. So that's a really, really good hint. So if you've ever done that, you've ever put gel medium on, and all of a sudden it starts pulling the color up from the background, and you're going, oh my God, what did I do? I just ruined my page. It's because you didn't have a dry paint. You had water on your paintbrush. So real good hint to not have that happen for you. So make sure you have your paintbrush dry. No, it had not been wet. Now I'm sealing these down for two reasons. One, I want to put a seal on the background so that when I do my my pen work around those in a little bit, I will have a sealed background. As of right now, my background isn't sealed. I could have done that with gesso in the beginning, but I didn't want to use gesso because the paint wouldn't have bled as well with gesso, and it's not as intense. The color wouldn't have been as intense. So since I wanted intense color and I wanted it to bleed like I did not gesso my watercolor paper prior to putting on the daubers. Every time I say daubers, I think of the movie Harry Potter, and that little creature, his name was Dobby or something like that. I think his name was Dobby. Every time I say that, I think of his name. Not seeing a whole lot of questions in the chat over there. I'm assuming that's a good thing and you're not having any questions because I'm doing such a good job at explaining everything.
Are you seeing my links anywhere? Are they coming out?
I am seeing your links, so I know we're doing something right. Look how cute this little fairy is up there on top. So, yep, I am seeing your links. I like how this is really, really intense. The yellow and the pinkish purples is the real good contrast, so it's really making the page pop. So again, I'm sealing around the images for two reasons. One, for the technique I want to do next around it, and two, I want it to really be part of the page and not look like, I'm going to put some shadow behind it in a minute here, but I really want it to glue down well. Glue down. Down, boy, down. They're butterflies. They want to fly away. They don't want to be glued down. Okay. And gel medium does dry clear, even though it goes on with that white look to it. So don't worry about that. Making sure I don't need this anymore before I put it in water. Because once I put it in water, remember it can start activating the background. That would be bad. Okay, hopefully it's good. Okay, quick your eye. Okay, I have some leftover, what do I want to call these, rub-ons. So I'm going to use them just to, use this leftover stuff that I have on here. Of course, I don't have a popsicle stick on my desk, do I? What can I use instead of a popsicle stick?
The end of the other end of the paintbrush.
Yeah. There it's going. Didn't like that card. I thought that card would work, but see if that's going down. Use what you got on your desk, right? And if part of it misses, so what? Let's see if I can get that part over here. No big deal. I mean, if it was words or something, it'd probably be a big deal to me, but, it's flowers. It's really not a big deal. What else? I know, guys, I haven't been here in forever, it seems like, with all the problems. I'm so glad we're not having problems tonight. But Joe helped me fix it. Thank you, Joe. He figured out what was wrong with my computer. It was a Dell computer and Windows 10 problem. But we got it working. Down. Yeah, I'm just going to use whatever I have on here or whatever sticks. Oh, I've seen a really great movie, guys. It's called Heaven is Real. Really good movie if you haven't seen it yet. It's probably been out for about a year or so. I just finally got a chance to see it. Don't go to the movies much. I usually wait for them to come on like HBO, or I buy them or something like that. But this was on HBO the other day. And what a cool story. Very interesting story if you haven't seen that movie yet. It's called Heaven is Real. That isn't going down at all. No. Oh, that doesn't want to go there at all. Probably because it's still too wet. Yes, sound like you were going to say.
And Terry, I just noticed I actually have one package of 7 Gypsy butterflies that are color rub-ons that are spectacular. I have one package left. I'm going to post the links.
Yeah, that would make it super easy. You wouldn't have to do all this pre-coloring. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let me real quickly give this just a little dry so I can go around them. And then I'll do 2 things. I think those vines are 7 Gypsies too. They're just probably 100 years old. Okay, I'm going to use my Pit pen, and I'm going to go right around the edge and then smear out the edge, and that's going to give you kind of like a shadowy look to it. Now, this was a technique that I was saying that I have to make sure I had the gel medium around there, because if it wasn't sealed, it wouldn't allow me to do this like smearing. It would leave it a very harsh line, which I didn't want. So if I did it directly onto a regular piece of paper that didn't have that gel medium, it would soak into the background. And I want the shadowy look. See how that's got a shadowy look? So that's what I'm after. So I want it to smear. So you have to have the gel medium to do that. Or some type of sealing. It doesn't necessarily have to be gel medium. Make sure I say that correctly. It can be anything that was sealed. So if I did the gesso would have sealed the page, and I could have had that same text or same idea. So I'm just going around getting the shadow in there. See the difference? And then I'm also going to put the antenna back in here in a little bit. The only thing I was bummed about going back to North Carolina, I was so bummed about this, guys. I wanted to see lightning bugs so bad. They were already gone for the summer or whatever. Their season was over. I didn't get to see lightning bugs. I was so bummed. Besides that, I had a great time, but I would have loved to see lightning bugs. I haven't seen lightning bugs since I was a little kid. They're not on the West Coast. So see the difference that this page has with the shadowing over this page? It's something that's really subtle, but it really does kind of give a, you know, just gives it more depth. So I hope you think of that technique in the future. And then I'm going to take, so I'll do the rest of them later, but a black pen, a black pit pen again, because it does have, they are a permanent marker. And I can go back in and add the antennae back into the butterflies. So they're not missing their antennae, I just didn't want to cut them out. See how quick and easy that is? So don't worry about cutting out your butterfly antennas. I never do. I'm too lazy. So there we go. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of that off camera, just the shadowing around the rest of it. So is there any other questions? Because that is basically exactly what I wanted to do tonight. I'm going to shadow around this too. So I'll keep shadowing while I'll see if anybody has any questions. Stop by my blog tomorrow. Join my group called All Things Terri Sproul. Give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Go ahead, Joe.
And tomorrow I'm part of a blog harp with Stencil Girl and US Art Quest.
Oh.
And the giveaway is a $25 gift certificate and art papers and I think some art supplies. I can't remember what. So I'll have Terri, I'm sure, will post it on her Facebook page. And I'll have it on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/create, the letter N like Nancy, craft. Create and craft.
Yes, I will definitely have it on. It was on, they started it today, but Joe wasn't in today's post. It'll be in tomorrow's. So I did have the link up for today's blog post. So definitely check that out. I was just in one last week, but we've already got the prize done. So I likey. So I'm going to, looks like there's no questions. Okay, if I did miss a question that you need to ask me, go to my group called All Things Terri Sproul on Facebook and leave me a question there, or you can even leave me a comment on this video on YouTube and I will answer it. I love that page. That turned out so pretty. That turned out so pretty. The quote says, "Good friends are like stars. You don't always see them, but you know they're there." So there we go. I love my page. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next Tuesday. Appreciate it. Bye.
Good night.